to do well on the TOEFL IBT, especially when it comes to the writing part of the test and also the speaking part of the test, you need to avoid wordy sentences. So it's important to be as concise as possible. Eliminate redundancies. For example, Helen is a smart and intelligent woman. Helen is a smart woman. Or even, do we even need that? Helen is smart. The second thing, avoid unnecessary repetition of words. We don't want to repeat something too many times. Repetitious. Our student is physically ill today. Revised. Our student is physically ill today. Get rid of empty or inflated phrases. Many phrases can be taken out with little or no loss of meaning. For example, it is my opinion that abortion should be outlawed. You could simply say abortion should be outlawed. Here's a checklist of wordy phrases. You'll see this is wordy, the wordy phrase. Here's the more concise version. Where it says area, field of, omit, it means don't even use it if you see omit. It's not even needed. Notice respective, respectively, most of the time you don't even need it. How about very? Even words like very, extremely, really, you don't need those words typically in writing. They don't do much. Alright, the next point. Reduce clauses to phrases, phrases to single words. By doing this, you make your writing more concise. Okay, let me give you an example here. How about, wow, this is a tough one, but we visited Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. How about, we visited Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. Okay, active verbs. A lot of times, you don't really need to use active verbs that much, especially the be verb. If it's possible, use a more concise version, or at least maybe you can get rid of the be verb and you can state that verb with more description. But sometimes, for example, John was responsible for soliciting donations to the chemistry club. You got to use a be verb. You got no choice there. Or Mark Jones is a professor at the University of Southern California. Again, you don't have a choice. You're kind of stuck with that verb. But how about this? I was rebellious changes to I rebelled. Or was electrifying changes to electrified. Do you see that? So what I'm saying is, if it's possible, maybe the word that comes after it, this is called the main verb, this is the auxiliary verb. Sometimes the main verb can be stated in the past tense and it carries all the action, and you don't really need that be verb. So maybe sometimes with the past progressive tense, past continuous tense, you don't always need it. You can maybe use a simple past instead, stating the verb more directly. Alright, let's take a look at some practice exercises here. This is called making sentences more concise. So it's important for you to try to apply what I've taught you so far in this video. Let me give you the instructions. Each exercise will give you specific instructions regarding the number of words which should be eliminated from the sample sentence. Using a sheet of paper, reduce the sentence according to the instructions, then scroll down your screen to see the possible answer. Your goal is to complete 10 exercises in a row or until you feel comfortable making sentences more concise. Exercise 1. Eliminate any redundancies. Redundant. John was employed and now works for the company Levi Strauss. Revised. John now works for the company Levi Strauss. Of course, now works implies that he was hired. Redundant. Helen is a smart, intelligent woman. Revised. Helen is a smart woman. And it's implied, at least in American culture, Helen is a woman. You could even say Helen is smart. Okay, here's the first one. Knowing how to conduct an effective job interview, Hiroko is a cunning and clever woman. Even this sentence is pretty well written, especially what I like is the beginning part. Notice this is called a present participial phrase. It modifies Hiroko, the subject of the sentence. Now the point is, do you guys see cunning and clever? I think cunning and clever are very similar in meaning, so you want to get rid of one of those words and then you end up with a sentence like this. Possible answer: knowing how to conduct an effective job interview, Hiroko is a cunning woman. Now if it's implied that Hiroko is a woman, and maybe it's not even important whether it's a woman or a man, how about this? Hiroko is cunning, or Hiroko is intelligent. Okay, let's take a look at exercise 2. Avoid unnecessary repetition of words. Eliminate any unnecessary repetition of words in the following sentence. Repetitious. Our student is a physically ill student today, so obviously you see the word student and then student is being repeated again. That's kind of not good. So how about our student is physically ill today? And even present tense implies right now, which implies today, so you could even argue maybe our student is physically ill. Let's take a look at this one. The job task given to me is to perform the task of cleaning the kitchen, mopping the bathroom floor, and straightening the living room. I mean, this is awkward, isn't it? So it says reduce from 24 to 19 words. Let's take a look at an example here. So possible answer: the job given to me is to clean the kitchen, mop the bathroom floor, and and straighten the living room. I mean, what if you just said my job is to clean the kitchen, mop the bathroom floor, and straighten the living room? I mean, that's even more concise than the previous version. Now remember that the premise here is you're trying to be more concise because that's a better type of academic writing. So by either reducing clauses to phrases or phrases to single words or getting rid of any redundant or unnecessary type ideas, it's better. Okay, 3. Get rid of empty or inflated phrases. It is my opinion that abortion should be outlawed. How about this? Same thing, isn't it? Abortion should be outlawed. Even when you say things like this, especially with research writing and such, it weakens your argument. We know that's your opinion. We already know that. Your name's on the paper, so there's no need to say that. This is something that a lawyer would say. In the event that there is an earthquake, you should hide underneath your desk. But what if you just say if there's an earthquake? Okay, here's one. Reduce from 12 to 9 words. I will complete my research paper in a period of a week. I think this whole idea here is a little bit long, isn't it? So what if you just said this? Possible answer: I will complete my research paper in a week. Exercise 5. Reduce clauses of phrases to single words. We visited Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. We visited Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. In this case, you have the adjective clause has now been reduced to an appositive. Wordy. John's stylish boots made of crocodile skin cost him an arm and a leg. This is very tough for you to do. Very difficult. If you're not sure how to do it, don't worry. I wouldn't even try it. But if you said this, John's stylish crocodile boots cost him an arm and a leg. Even this idea, an arm and a leg, is an idiom, and a lot of writing handbooks recommend be careful about using idiomatic expressions in writing. They're overused, for one thing, and it's relatively informal English is another, and academic writing, you want more formal English. Therefore, it's probably not good to use those, and it's too wordy. But what if you just said John's stylish crocodile boots were expensive? There you go. Okay, here's the one here. William Jefferson Clinton, who was formerly the President of the United States, now has a job with a private company. Reduced from 20 to 18 words. So I think you're looking at this idea and thinking about a way of reducing that. All right, let's check it out. Possible answer. William Jefferson Clinton, formerly the President of the United States, now has a job with a private company. Now let me show you something with this sentence, that William Jefferson Clinton, formerly the President of the United States, now has a job with a private company. Now, if you really want to impress the TOEFL IBT human raters, and very few students ever do this, is for the case of sentence variety, if you took this idea, which is what we call a positive phrase, let's say that we cut it, and let's put it at the beginning here. Check this out. This is a very high-level grammar. A lot of writers don't do it. Non-native and native speakers alike, they really don't do it. But let's take a look at it. Formerly the President of the United States, William Jefferson Clinton now has a job with a private company. Now, this is actually still the appositive. This is not the subject of the sentence. Notice the comma. The subject is William Jefferson Clinton, and the verb, of course, has. You guys see that? Now, there's another thing that you don't want to do here is if you take this idea, let's say we cut it, this would actually be incorrect. It means that the appositive, which functions as an adjective phrase, it needs to be close to the noun it modifies. So formerly the President of the United States, it doesn't modify company. Therefore, you definitely don't want to put it in that order. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that adjective clauses and appositive phrases, they need to be placed directly before or after the noun they modify. And if you put appositives or reduce adjective clauses in the beginning of a sentence, it's a way of elevating and advancing your grammar structure. There you go. You heard it from me. Okay, exercise 5. This is called using active verbs. The basic premise is, if possible, try to use a active verb in place of a be verb. For example, I was rebellious. Notice how rebelled now is becoming the verb, and we've gotten rid of the was. The problem is, for you have to have a good understanding of word forms. You have to know that rebellious is an adjective, and then rebel is a verb. Rebellion is a noun. Okay, let's take a look at an example here. See if you can figure out what to do with this one. The doctor was examining the patient for symptoms of a rare form of liver cancer. So reduce from 15 to 14 words. Of course, here you'd end up, I think, getting rid of was. You turn this into the main verb. The doctor examined. So be careful about using the past continuous tense. I think it's overused, and in many cases you actually don't need to use it. In this case, you have the doctor examine the patient for symptoms of a rare form of liver cancer. So that's kind of how you would do that one. Now, what I want to do right now, I'm going to give you about 15 more practice exercises, and I'm going to stop talking, and you can just kind of look at it, look at the sentence. You can pause the video, and then right after that, once you go again, I'm going to scroll down so you can see the answer. So I recommend that you take some time to take these sentences and follow the instructions and try to reduce these sentences into the most concise version possible following my instructions.